Welcome everyone. In this video lecture, we will think about the electrical circuit model of a single cell, or we will call this equivalent circuit model of a single cell as a call impedance model. Okay. So first of all, we have to think about the biological system. So example is our human. So a biological system consists of what? So many things. Okay. Suppose I have made a five blocks. Okay. So a human being, say, or is called as a organism, complete organism. We people are a human being, yeah, organism. Okay. Then organism may consist of organ system. Okay. So organism consists of organ system. So that organ system is nothing but simply our brain, heart, okay, some nervous system, we can say lung. Okay, so the example may be considered as a heart. Organ system consists of organs, okay, like heart, lung, okay, etc. Okay, brain also we can say as a part of organ system. So this one is a organ system. Then organ system have some tissue. Okay, have some tissue. Okay, then after the tissue formed with the help of so many cells. Okay, this is just a rough idea. Okay, and then cell, inside the cell, RNA, DNA, okay, will be there, like deoxyribonucleic acid, ribonic, ribonucleic acid. Okay, so we can say this one DNA RNA is the smallest abstraction of the abstraction of the biological system, and this one organism is our largest abstraction. Okay, but our point of focus is our cell. I'm not a biology teacher. I am a electronics guy, so we have to model the electrical circuit model. So for the electrical circuit model, we have to more focused about only the one thing, that is our cell. So we will focus on the cell. Okay, this will be the our focus on the cell. Okay, cell. We have to focus about the cell. Clear? So this one is a rough idea, means a biological system have the largest abstraction, we can say the organism. Then organism consists of organ system, or organ system have a combination of so many organs like heart, lung, so many things, and tissue, shell, DNA, RNA, like that. Okay, but our primary concern is cell. So I have already draw a cell, rough cell structure. Okay, so here we can say already, okay, written this one is our cell membrane. Okay, we have to say cell membrane. Okay, I think so many of you know this thing. And inside this, so the liquid is called your cytoplasm. Okay, some biological term is there. And this one is our nucleus, already written. And organelles and some Golgi bodies are there, Golgi body. So we are not focusing on all these things. Okay, so this is the single cell. Okay, so in single cell what we will do, there is some cell membrane. So cell membrane have an important role. So there are basically three things comes into picture for the electrical equivalent circuit modeling. So three things will play a major role. Okay, so in cell, three important things will play a major role to draw the equivalent circuit. So these are cell membrane, and another one we can say cytoplasm, and the another one is, here we can say there is some matrix. Okay, some matrix will be there that will bind this cell membrane. Okay, so that one is called as a what, extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix. So these are the three important things that will use for the design of a electrical circuit model. It contributes, okay, right, it contributes for the design of equivalent electrical circuit of cell. Electrical circuit of a cell. Very rough. We have to go for the very. This one, yeah, or we can say the subcellular matrix, or say the extra. Sorry, we can say extracellular matrix. So basically, so many things are there inside. We are not going to cover all these things. The primary thing is our this extracellular matrix. Okay, I am highlighting. Only we have to focus about the extracellular matrix. Okay, then after cell membrane. Okay, and then cytoplasm. Okay, three things we have to focus. Okay, again here, cell membrane, cell membrane, primary culture, cytoplasm, and the extracellular matrix. These three things will contribute the electrical circuit. Okay, the fundamental electrical circuit contributes these three things. Okay, so then after, what we are considering the cell membrane. So cell membrane consists of what electrical component that we have to think. So for example, I am considering this portion, this portion. Okay, this portion. Okay, so this portion that we are considering, for example, this was our some portion of the cell membrane. Okay, okay, that part I have drawn. Okay, so this part is our what, cell, part of cell membrane. I am saying this one is a part of cell membrane. I have cut. Okay, that part of cell membrane. So that cell membrane. Okay, so basically this one is our cell structure. Okay, and this one is our, okay, it is like this. Okay, so this one, in between this there is some gap. Okay, so this cell membrane consists of bilayer. Okay, or lipid bilayer. So this cell membrane, I am writing cell membrane consists of lipid bilayer. Okay, bilayer, this lipid bilayer which mainly have some fat kind of things. Okay, in body we can say. So there is some, okay, there is some void, this is some gap, void. Okay, so there is this void is there. So this will act as a capacitor. Simple electronics people, so simply we can say there is some material kind of thing and there is some gap. So this will act as a capacitor. Okay, this will act as a capacitor, cell membrane. Okay, But in ideal practice, the cell membrane is there like two rings. Okay, but in the ring there is some gaps. Okay, in that ring there is some opening. Okay, means this one is the ring and this one is the some gap. Okay, so that gap, that for this thing I have drawn already, draw a picture. Okay, the cell membrane have the extracellular matrix and then some protein layer, outer protein layer, inner protein layer, and in between the lipid layer, and there is some gap. Okay, there is some gap. Okay, for the flow of ions, this gap. So one more diagram okay, I will draw one more diagram. Okay, select region. Okay, for example, this one is the circuit. Okay, uh, this one is the diagram. A very similar diagram will be there also, very similar. I'm just drawing. Okay, okay, the similar diagram. Okay, so if this one is our cell membrane kind of thing, cell membrane. Okay, so in between that it is found that there is some gap. Okay, so that gap, through that gap what happens, some ion channels. So from this gap, what I am saying, the ion channels will be there. Ion channels, we can say this is considered as a ion channels. Okay, so ion channels. Okay, which which allow charges to flow through the membrane. Okay, so through this one, some like Na plus, okay, K plus, Cl minus, some charge will be flow. So these ion channels, in between that some ion channels is there. So that ion channels maybe behave as a resistance. Okay, so so it have some capacitive thing and some resistive thing. So this one can be considered as some capacitor for the lipid bilayer, and for the this one capacitor for the lipid bilayer, and this resistor for the ion channels. If you look, if you see the picture, it will seems like this one is a simple lipid layer. Okay, but in between there is some gap through which there is a flow of ion channels. Okay, ion channels flow. Okay, so that will provide some resistance. So ion channels provide some resistance. So this part is nothing but simply one capacitive term and one resistive term, which is in the parallel. Okay, so that is called our Cm, and we can say the Rm. Capacitor term present in the membrane, cell membrane, Cm and Rm. Okay, so this part is okay, clear. And then after the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is nothing but simply we can say the liquid or water, generally liquid we can say, in the inside the cell membrane. So first thing, for the cell membrane we have to use capacitor and resistor. Now we have to think about the Cytoplasm. Okay, so cytoplasm is a intracellular space inside the cell. Okay, a space inside the cell. So then this cytoplasm, okay, inside the cell, some cytoplasm is there, some liquid kind of thing. Generally, we have to focus about the liquid may that have a major impact on the circuit modeling is some liquid kind of thing. So that is our cytoplasm. Okay. So that cytoplasm consists of some ions and water. Consist of ions and water. In that inside the cell, so many things are there like Golgi body, mitochondria, then organelles, so and water molecule also. So what we have observed that water okay is some resistive property along with so many organelles that will act as a resistor. But water molecule or liquid kind of thing produces a very less resistance. The suppose this one for the water one, it produces a very less resistance like 10K. So other will produce, for example, 1000K in mega ohm range. Okay, like Golgi body and all have more impedances. Okay, clear. So what we observed that the main dominating part for the equivalent circuitry for the cytoplasm is denoted by a single resistor, okay, or R cytoplasm, okay, which is mainly due to the water part because the other things like Golgi body and all, etc., mitochondria have higher resistance. So if we consider two resistance, 10K and 1000K, and which are in parallel, so if we find the equivalent resistance, it will nearly equals to the lower value. Okay, so we will consider this as a 10K is the, so this one is our cytoplasm resistance. We can say our cyto, okay, our cytoplasm. Clear? Then after some extracellular matrix, this extracellular matrix is also, we can say, some things that will protect the cell membrane and which consist of some fibers. This one is some fibers. Okay, so this fibers is nothing but simply resistance, and inside that there is some resistance. Okay, or cytoplasm. Okay, and this resistance is fiber resistance is outside. Okay, and in addition to that there will be some capacitor and resistor. Okay, you have to clear. So this fiber resistance RNC and cytoplasm, and again it is connected to the cell membrane. Okay, so one more resistance and okay, you can make like this. Okay, so this one is the overall circuit for the single cell. So the cell membrane have some CM, RM, and then after cytoplasm resistance or cyto, and then it is corrected or directly make it CM, RM, and it is corrected through a resistance that is our RE, subcellular matrix, or what we can say RE, okay, subcellular matrix or extracellular matrix, sorry, extracellular matrix we can say. So this one is the diagram. Okay, so basically in general in some paper or in call basic call impedance model for the, if you think about the simple cell, so it is looks like this. This one Cm, and this one Rm, and R cyto or R cyto, or we can also write Ri, anything. Okay, so in the call impedance model, there is some cytoplasm resistance. Okay, so in between the inside the cell, so many resistance, but the and all will be in the parallel kind of thing. So we have to consider the smallest one. So that why, and that smallest one is due to the some water and ions. Okay, so R side to then Cm Rm. So this one is the equivalent circuit of a single cell. Okay, and in some advanced version, this capacitor, the capacitor is considered as a fractional capacitor. Fractional capacitor like C alpha fractional capacitor. R Rf and say Ri cytoplasm. So this is all about the simple understanding about how a cell behaves. So once again, I will repeat the thing. The fibers have some resistance, non-living thing we can say, okay, and it acts as a resistor. And the this one, the membrane have some capacitive effect with some resistance. Okay, so capacitive due to because the lipid layer have some voids, so it acts as a capacitor, say Cm and Rm. Rm is the resistance. So in between the membrane there is some opening for the flow of ions. Okay, and that flow of ions, it doesn't mean it is short, so it has some resistive capacity, so it is denoted by Rm. Inside the cell so many things are there, like what we can say, the mitochondria and so many fluid liquids and so many things. So it have so many resistance which are connected in parallel. Okay, so we have to consider the smallest resistance. Okay, why we have already covered. So R cyto, and then after again this one, this membrane is again Rm, Cm, and this one is our say Re, extracellular matrix. So this one is the abstraction, means how we have to. So we are not considering the nucleus. Nucleus is also one of the important things. So this one is our nucleus. Okay. So nucleus we are not considering because nucleus is very small, but if we have to go for the some diseases like cancer disease and all, nucleus become extremely large, so then we have to consider about the nucleus. So our primary concern is about the single cell, basic single cell equivalent structure. So this is all about the electrical equivalent circuit for a single cell, and this is also called the call impedance model. So this is all about this video. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you.